This meal we're using to challenge our creativity. Every once in a while, I like to show meals that can be created by stepping into that land of discomfort. Doing this purposely helps exercise and stimulate the world. And I don't only mean geographically. I'm talking about the world that you live in. Up here. Everything we're using today in the recipe is a staple within the pantry. Now I know between cultures, even person to person, our pantry staples may look slightly different, but what doesn't change is the ingredients we're using in this recipe are affordable. They're also long lasting. And if you've been tuning in with me for a while, you may already have these ingredients in your pantry as leftovers, or they may become some new additions to your current collection of pantry staples. Also, if you're looking for some solid produce that is at a not so hefty pocket price, check out Aldi. And no, this video is not sponsored by Aldi. Now that I think about it, I was also challenged earlier this year to add some more fruit into my meals. And this is number 2 for me this year. Completely by mistake. Moral of the story, if you have any goals for this year, sometimes you may just crush them by accident and they still feel just as good. We're starting this recipe off by looking at the pantry and realizing we have not a single hard shell for tacos, but we had a stack of 3, 4, maybe even 5-month-old corn tortillas. No, the tortillas do not need to be as old as your firstborn in order for the method I'm going to show you to work. I love creating these corn tortillas into hard shells because they have that texture like kettle cooked chips, and they have like a real satisfying snap when you sink your teeth into them. I also love these because you can make them wider than your traditional hard shells. Therefore, trading in your compact vehicle for like a 7-seater electric SUV. So I used foil in order to do this method, but there are other ways if you don't use foil or you don't have it on hand. You can use the oven rack itself, or maybe even like a cookie rack if it has wide enough grates. You can like fold the soft shell over one of the bars between the spaces. Of course, I would think you might want to put a drip pan underneath just in case anything comes off. And that could simply be like a baking sheet. Or sometimes taco holders are made of metal that are oven safe. And you can, just place them in there also. You could also do the fun idea of like making a taco bowl by like folding a larger soft shell over the top of like an oven safe bowl. After making the shell, from here, we're basically just heating up ingredients. Keeping things simple for the kale, when you're cooking that, you could sprinkle it with a little salt, maybe a little pepper, but the cooking process, you're just pushing it around the pan until it kind of softens and wilts down. You can certainly use other greens such as spinach in place of that kale, or even collard greens in place of both of them. I could also imagine a blend of all 3 might be a pretty solid idea. Why didn't I think of that? Regardless of which green you use, it's gonna be really important to get them chopped really small so this way they don't overpower the beans within the dish. As for beans, you could use pinto beans or even red kidney beans for a somewhat similar taste, but they're also good choices because they're typically pantry staples as well. Within the recipe, I used a very small Chipotle pepper with almost no noticeable kick, but very notable flavor. Always a good idea to go less is more with the spices, as you can always add red pepper flakes, cayenne pepper, hot sauce to help kick things up a notch. The easiest, but also arguably the most delightful part of this dish is the pineapple mango salsa. The natural flavor of sweetness that you get from these fruits combined with savory and smoky spices is just unbelievable. The tacos are really good without the salsa, but becomes like an obsession with the salsa. But you know what tops the entire recipe? The fact that we pulled this whole thing together without a single spice. Yeah. Full recipe you could find linked in the description, or you could head over to my website, makeitdairyfree.com. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, believe in good. Peace.